So to start off with, we're going to be looking at the build-up, which you can see our formation 4-2-3-1 kind of, with the wingers pushed up high and the fullbacks pushed high and wide. So I'm going to be basing this off the opposition pressing with a 4-4-2, because that's probably the most common formation nowadays for the opposition to press with. So to start off with, I'm just going to highlight key points that I think could be useful. So to outnumber their attack, because you see here they've got 2 people pressing our 2 centre backs. To get past that, I think our CDM, so number 6 in this case, could drop into centre back, and then obviously our centre backs push a bit wider. This kind of allows us to outnumber their attackers and kind of get through the first phase without any harm. So the second point in the build-up I want to make is that our front line here, number 11, 9 and 7, push up as high as they can. This ultimately drags the opposition's backline back, and if the wingers are in the half space here, then their opposition fullback can't push up, which obviously means if they push up, this can go press there, but they can't push up because the ball should be played right over the top here. So both fullbacks are back, both centre backs are back and marking this striker. This gives, if we do get the ball to our cam here, this gives him so much time in between the lines here to dribble and pick a pass out, and it ultimately gives us space, basically the whole way around the pitch, in all of this space to try and build up and try and break them down. And the third point I want to make about our build up is the fullback kind of coming into this space that was left by the cam to provide another passing lane from the centre back into midfield, so we can progress the ball even better through the centre of the park. So this fullback I think will be Jada Silva next season. Hopefully he's not injured next season anyway. If the fullback does come in and the winger doesn't decide to cover, because if he comes in, the centre back could go across there, or the winger could provide the width. If he stays out there and kind of holds his position with the centre back, then obviously if the free pass into there, then De Silva can turn and kind of drive the ball up the pitch or pass the ball wide or something like that. So I think De Silva has good potential, has good quality to be in that CDM position. You could take a player on 1v1, beat them and kind of find a good pass forward. First point about our transition play I want to highlight is if we can make it a 4v4 with their back line, so 1v1 in each little department. This allows for our midfielders to make runs from deep to get through unchallenged by their centre backs for hopefully a ball over the top. Another advantage about having a 4v4 in the back line is that it creates 1v1s for the skillful players, such as the wingers out wide. If they receive a ball to feet, then obviously they can take their man on and hopefully beat the man to put a cross into the box. So another thing I want to highlight about our transition is the fact that we need a striker who is willing to make the runs down the lines in the pockets left by the wingers moving out of position. So for example, if a winger pushes into centre mid and the fullback follows, then there's a massive space opened up just behind the fullback, where hopefully the striker can run into and collect the long ball. Likewise, if he's fast enough, he could just make a quick run in behind, get the long ball over the top, but this kind of depends if their back line is pushed high up, which leaves a lot of space in behind for the striker to run into. So for our attacking shape, I want us to be in a kind of 3-1-5-1 with obviously the 3 protecting, the 3 being 6, 5 and 4 protecting the counter attack, 8 kind of sitting in this position here to intercept any balls through to their striker. Obviously these 5 in midfield here just to stretch the pitch. These fullbacks stay high and wide to stretch the pitch. The wingers come into the half space, so it kind of drags their opposition winger in, which allows the fullbacks to have a lot of time and space. the striker just stay central and kind of like try and push the back line back and look for, if any crosses come to the box, just look to get in front of the defender, try and finish them, and obviously the cam on free roam here. I also want to talk about overloads which can be created by the cam. This cam is going to be, I think, really important in this attacking phase. He has the free roam to move across here, and if he wants to overload, obviously centre back can shift out here, or that can be replaced by the holding midfielder, kind of come out here. Full back, obviously high and wide. This winger into the half space, so he has loads of space to come through in the cam here. So obviously they'll shift over like this, but I think if we could play it around here, we have the beating of them. Obviously, the centre back could also push up. This kind of makes a 5v3 or 5v4 if he pushes over. And then this obviously draws the whole of their team over this side. And then if we keep the fullback high and wide, look for that switch. He has so much time on that space. So I think it's quite important that we try and move the cam along this line to kind of overload areas out wide. The last thing I want to talk about regarding our attacking play is the wingers in the half space here. I think it's crucial to have them in here, because it kind of, if they were out wide, then obviously the fullbacks would just come out wide and mark them. But them being in the half space kind of means the fullbacks have to stay inside to make sure the wingers don't get the ball, which obviously, if these wingers are high, allows a simple ball out wide to the fullbacks. But if these wingers come and close the fullbacks, then that gives our centre backs a lot of space to push up, or centre mids a lot of space to cover this space and then create from here, or the cam drop off and stuff like that.